good morning. Good morning, everyone. That is what I was going to come on here and start doing was the good morning thing. Hey, because I'm a morning person. Yeah, I've been up for a few hours. Hello, come on in, come on in, come on in. Wanted to come in here and talk to you guys. Hey, about authenticity, being authentic. I am who I am. I am Pamela. I am the conscious queen. I think you see the name has changed. I woke up this morning and said change the name. Come on in, come on in. Hey, y'all. How's everybody today? Good deal, good deal, good deal, good deal. I know a lot of people cannot handle my bubbliness. And I am who I am. I can't change who I am. That people just, hey, they just tend to come toward me and my spirit and everything. And I'm bubbly. Now, don't get it twisted. I do have down days. And I'm going through this awakening. Let me tell y'all about the awakening, the beginning of the awakening. Now, I've got so many stories and experiences to tell you guys, about me that I've gone through. And so let me just quickly get this out the way. This is Pamela. I am Pamela, and this is my channel. Thank you and welcome. Come on in. And I've just did a recent name change. It went from Queen Possible, but still, just because the name change don't mean that shit ain't real. That shit is real. All things are possible. But I woke up this morning and hey, the time now, right now, that I'm speaking to you may not be the time you receive the video, but the time right now that I'm speaking to you is like 4 o'clock, something like that, okay? But I woke up at 2:35, as a matter of fact. And I'm like, Spirit, what is it you wanting me to know? What are you wanting me to do? I'm down for it. Whatever you need me to do, I'm here. What do I need to write down? And, and I write stuff down. I jot stuff down. And so I'm going through, and excuse my snorkels. I'm going through and I'm watching some TV and I'm, just laying there, just thinking to myself. Thinking to myself. Do you feel that? Do you hear that? Thinking to myself. Name change. But I think I had said something in another video about name change. Name change. Name change. So it's gone from Queen Possible to Conscious Queen. And I legitimately conscious. Believe me. And so this journey of mine started years ago. It did. I was a drugger. I did drugs way back in the day. And but in spite of the drugs, in spite of me doing the drugs and things and hanging out, party girl doing that thing, I was still living a life of working, family, taking care of children, married, sister, aunt, I'm all of that, counselor, all of that. My mother's daughter. Yes, my mother's daughter. For some reason, I be feeling my lips be chapped. And I don't like chapped lips. And I usually have my stuff right here with me. There it is right there. Yeah. And so trying to maintain this life, first, I didn't understand it. I remember I can go back to age 15 where I'm in school and I did graduate. I'm in school and the way school was going and, I wasn't popular and I didn't hang out with the it crowd, but I lived in the suburbs. We had a nice home. My mom raised us nicely. My dad died when I was 12. Moved to Lawton, Oklahoma. My aunt and uncle resided there. They They were in the military, and my mom and my aunt are twins, and so they wanted to be with each other, so they ended up moving in the same state with each other. And me, young girl, 14, 15, at that time, moving to, coming from Kansas City, Kansas, to Lawton, Oklahoma, it was a game changer. It was a shell shocker. I had never seen so many white people in my life. But that one right there was also a God move. He didn't want me to stay stagnant in the, African American culture community. He wanted me to venture out. Venture out. And that's what I did. That's what happened. Talking about I did, it's what happened. I ended up going to before I left Kansas City in the 6th grade, schools were segregated. So, yeah, schools were segregated. And so we moved down here, we moved to Lawton and to the suburbs, and school was, it was pretty much divided, But black was here, whites there, but still, I got a chance to really, the area I lived in, majority of white people. But hey, that's where we were. I was 15. I couldn't do nothing about my situation, and not saying it was a problem. I'm just telling you what was going on. But and as being at the school that I was at, MacArthur Senior High School, whoop whoop, up in here, class of 82. Yeah, I graduated, and I was happy. I didn't think I was that smart. I didn't. Shit just wasn't working out for me. Life was fucked up. I ran away a couple of times. I started smoking cigarettes early at 15, and didn't start. I tried. My oldest sister introduced me to marijuana at 14. I took it. I smoked it like to die because it wasn't going in. My lungs were virgin. And I smoked one time at age 14, smoked marijuana. And then I didn't smoke again until I was 18 because I was looking and seeing everybody didn't die. But that was my ignorance of it. Hey. And, But a lot of my qualities and a lot of things that I have, gifts that I have, I thought I picked up along the way. But the whole time they were already there, and I tapped into them. Yeah. So after, excuse me, let me go get me some water. Let me dim that light just a little bit there too. I probably was bright. But after high school, I tried to get in college. But my grade point was low. I wasn't the brightest student. But I loved to be there. Yeah, I loved to be at school. My daughter even loved to be at school as a young woman. But anyway, so I didn't go to college. Ended up having children. After, I graduated high school in May, and then in December I had a baby. Did not know that was what was going on. But anyway, but just blessed. The way my life had been going, opportunities, doors opening up. I got my first job from, I can't remember, what was it, 21? Something like that. First job. Didn't have to work. After high school, I was receiving money from my dad and stuff like that, so I didn't have to work. But when I got my first job, it was like a miracle, okay? First job was a company came in from New York, Buffalo, New York, and they opened up a factory. And I was on welfare, of course. And, my social worker, caseworker, referred me to this company that just came, and it was a blessing. It was a blessing. And I'd never worked, but ended up in that job making $10 an hour, starting off. And I think I had prayed Before that, if I find a job paying me $5 more than what I was getting on welfare, then I was going to take it. And I took it. And I was there for 12 years. And the man that owned the company, Warner, what was his name? Can't remember. John Warner, jewelry display company. And I made jewelry displays for Zales and J.C. Penney's and things like that. I made jewelry displays. But that was a where'd that job come from? Where'd that job come from? Where did it come from? Because I didn't know no different to work. No, I didn't know no different to work. I didn't know any different to work. Sorry about that. It's some real shit. It's real. It's not a lie, but it's a real video. I'm always got stuff around my mind. Anyway, but yeah, worked there for 12 years with all benefits. All benefits. Now, at that time, too, on down in there somewhere, maybe 5 years after working, I guess. I don't know. Can't remember exactly the times. Years have passed. My memory is not what it used to be. I started smoking crack up in there somewhere. Working, maintaining, and still smoked crack. Cocaine. Yeah, so I'm wondering, I'm looking back. I've been looking back on my life. How did that happen? How did that happen? Well, I know how it happened. It was already planned out. It was already planned out. Yeah, y'all excuse my nails. Going to get them done soon. My son talks about them really bad. He says, Mama, how you going to be on video with your nails like that? Don't worry about my nails. Get them done then, son. But anyway, yeah, the blessings have overtaken me. Now I'm going to tell you a recent one. This was just a couple of years ago, though, but how this happened. It was me and my son in a discussion. Now I have 2 children. I have a son and a daughter. Excuse my snarkle. And my son was like, I went to stay with him in Stillwater, where I'm at now, living now. But I wasn't living here before. I was just here helping him out. And I love him. So I helped my daughter, so I wanted to help him out. And I wasn't married, again, divorced and everything, so I had nothing to do. Nothing to do. So I came to stay with him for the weekend or for some days or whatever, down there helping him with his newborn baby. This was a couple of years ago. And me and him always bump heads. Me and my son bump heads. We're both Leos, fire signs. Okay? Both alphas. So me and him, but anyway, he's always talking to me. And I've raised my children with God. We were raised in the church. They were raised in the church until I turned and went my own way. But my mom raised us, and I raised my children, but till they made their own decisions. Now, my daughter, she was all gung-ho for Jesus and all that. But my son was like, I ain't doing it. And I never tried to force him, but if I went to church, he went to church. If he listened, comprehended, that was on him. Although I tried to instill all I could in my children while we were in church. Believe me, because I was dedicated. So, but me and my son, we often would clash. And I'm like, my goodness. But at this particular day, I was ready to go back to Oklahoma City. And I'm in Stillwater, Oklahoma, okay? So I needed him to take me back. And he's kind of, it's in his time, and when he get ready to do it, it ain't nobody rushing him, I'm not a little boy no more, mama type shit, okay? So, I'm like, you know what, don't worry about it. God gonna get me. God got me. I ain't worried about getting there. God got me. And so, he would always tell me, well, just wait on your God, then. Yeah, these conversations me and him used to have, he didn't want to talk about that and all that. But anyway, I still did. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to wait on my God. Make the story short. So I'm like, I'm going to wait on my God, okay? And I had my bags packed. They were packed and ready to go. And he walking around snickering and doing his thing or whatever he did. Anyway, a phone call came in. It's my daughter. She's like, Mom, I'm coming down to see you and bruh. And what y'all doing? I'm like, we just chilling, you know. And I didn't even say nothing about me trying to leave at the time. But so her and her fiance came down, and we sat around and did our thing, talked, discussed some things, and it dawned on me, this was my ride back to the city. And I'm like, oh, good Lord. I said, y'all going back today? She said, yeah. I was like, okay, good deal, good deal, good deal. So I said, I'm going to catch a ride with y'all. So at that time, I run in there and get my bags and things, and my son's looking at me. And I went in there and got my bags and put them by the door. And I said, I knew God would come through. I knew he would come through. I just knew he would. I knew he would. I knew he would. And, you know, for my son to tell me, wait on your God, God showed up in my daughter and her fiance. So I got that ride back to the city. Now, I'm making this story short. Stay with me. Y'all ready? Here we go. So we get to the city, and I'm sure I go around and check for my grandkids, look for my grandbabies. She's got 5 children. So I went around looking for my grandbabies. I was looking for the youngest one, Fat. We call him Fat, Octavian. So I go and find him, and he's outside playing with his little friends and things like that. So I turn and tell him, come see me in the house in a little bit. I turn to walk back to my daughter's apartment. As I'm walking, some money rolls up to my feet. And I'm looking, that's a $20 bill. Shit, I picked that $20 bill up. Then all of a sudden, I am not lying. Believe what I'm saying. Believe this miracle. It was like a rushing wind. The money just started flowing to me. Just started coming at my feet. I dropped down, started gathering up all this money. But as I'm doing that, before I did that, let me back up a little bit. Before I did that, before the money even rolled to my feet, I'm walking in the apartment complex, and I'm getting ready to cross through the streetway, a little breezeway thing. And I pass through, and I see a truck come past. Okay? Not paying attention to the truck. Just thinking in my head, I just got through seeing my grandson. Hopes he comes around and sees me soon. Okay? Stay with me. So the truck passes. And I look at the truck unconsciously and was in my mind. And then as I'm looking at thinking, I'm looking down at the ground and not even looked back up, but here comes the 20. Then here comes the other bills. They just coming. And I'm down just scooping them up, not paying attention to anything else around me. And then I see this other car come, and then I notice that. And I get the last little money, and I got it all up, and I gather it up, and I put it all in my pants and everything, and I'm walking back to my daughter's running back to my daughter's apartment. And I get back to her apartment, and I'm like, daughter, I go in the house, and I'm like, daughter, guess what? And she like, what, Mom? And I don't even think we had no cigarettes or something that day. I don't know. We didn't have something. Something wasn't it, okay? And she said, what, Mom? I said, Ebony, you're not going to believe this. She said, what, Mama? Her and her fiance was sitting there. I just dug off in my shit, pulled that money out, threw it up. John stood up. My daughter eyes got big. They said, Mom, where you get that money from? I was at a loss for words. I was out. I was coming. I didn't know to say. They started grabbing it up and putting it together. I'm froze. I'm stuck. And so I go to the window, look out to see if I could see that truck that had passed. I ain't see no truck. I go outside. They in there counting up the money. I go outside and I'm looking. I saw a truck. I saw a car. I saw a truck. But there's no car. There's no truck. Whew, man, I'm like it. And they were all 20s. So I'll go back inside my daughter's apartment. My daughter and they done counted it all up. She said, Mama, guess how much you got? I said, I said, how much? $620. $620 just came from $620. Wow, man, mind blowing. You talking about a miracle. You talking about money just appearing. this awakening has really blown my mind. Now, I went through a dark side of the soul too, and I'll tell you that in another video. But for this money to flow to me at this time, now I didn't even live in the city. I was living in Lawton. But from Lawton, had came to stay with my son in Stillwater. Then from Stillwater, went to stay with my daughter in Oklahoma City. We were all spread out. I think at that time I was pushing people away when I moved to Lawton. But knowing that it was a divine point, I moved. It's these. Wait for the rest of these. The rest of my experiences. So that day, that money, when my daughter them counted it up, I broke them off. Gathered up all my grandkids. We went to the store. I bought them some things. We went out to eat. I blessed some people in the restaurant we were at eating. I was shaken so bad that day, knowing that I had been blessed. Couldn't find the person that I didn't know. What was I supposed to report that? Shit. I took it as a blessing of obedience, of waiting on God, and trusting that He was going to help me in the time that I needed help. So I took it as a blessing, not foreseen, didn't know it was coming, wasn't ripping nobody off. $620. Well, make that long story short, hey, I bought some things, and let me add this onto the story. Now, I needed to get my license reinstated at that time, which was $300 and something. I needed to pay an electric bill that was probably $100 and something. But I didn't. I gave it back away immediately. Now, when I got home, that's another story too. When I got home, I didn't worry about getting my license reinstated. I didn't worry about my electricity bill. I didn't worry about none of that. But that's another story, and I'll tell you that in another video. But me and my grandbabies, and I just splurged on them. There was a bootleg CD, DVD player guy. Not player, DVD player, but DVDs guy, movie guy. I bought like 20 movies off of him, and I told him the story about the money coming up to me. And he was like, wow. And he said, you just gave it back to me. I said, you sure right. But that was just one incident. But like I said, after me and the grandbabies got back home and things like that, I'm still in shock. I even had money to pay I gave them money at the beginning, but I paid my daughter them money to get me on to Lawton. It was like God supplied it. It was like Spirit supplied it for me, that I didn't have to worry about it. Thankful, grateful, blessed, always, above and beyond. Now, I know every time I'm on here, I'm bubbly and all that, but I have down days too. Believe me, it balances out. It does. It does. But like I said, I paid my daughter them to take me back to Lawton, Oklahoma. I got down there. I wasn't worried about bills. I wasn't worried about none of that. I had to go back in there. I had to refresh and clean back, straighten my apartment back up from me leaving so quickly, abruptly. But got down there, and the magic started happening too. But I'm going to save that for another video, guys. I love you guys. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for following me. Be sure to like and share and subscribe to my channel. The name has changed. Be sure to pay attention. No longer Queen Possible, forever Conscious Queen. So check me out. Share me. Glad you came on board. This is me authentically. Excuse me. But this is me. This is me. I'm hyper. I have down times too. But check me out. Stay connected. The stories I have for you guys. I don't know what category I'm in because I got so much. And it is what it is. I love you guys. One love. Namaste. Hey, love you first. See you guys later.